Hello, everyone. Braylon Blair here. This is Topic Drop Segment 3. Got a lot of topics to discuss, more than the usual two that I've done in the previous segments. I will start doing the Topic Drop segment with more than two topics and with me visible like this one is here today. I didn't really want to convert back to doing it this way because this is how I first started when I began Braylon's Real Talk. I was trying to take the show in a more professional setting with, special guests and musical guests and things of that nature. That's why I renamed it to Braylon's Real Talk Live. But unfortunately, I haven't acquired the sponsorship to help me make that transition. But if there's anyone that is willing to sponsor the show or put forth any type of business contribution toward the show, you can email me at brealtalklive@yahoo.com. That's the letter B, the words realtalklive@yahoo.com. All right, on with the show. First, I would like to talk about the Vegas shooting that happened October 1st. I know it's pretty much over with and everything, and the guy was killed in the process. But what doesn't sit right with me is how was he able to get all the ammunition that he had in the room, through the hotel without anyone questioning him? Okay, sure, he probably brought it in suitcases and stuff and, looked like he just had luggage or whatever. But you see someone over a past couple of days, constantly bringing, big size luggages and things through the hotel or whatever, and you don't question it. That's my only thing. Not only that, no surveillance footage was ever brought out seeing that he was walking through, putting all the equipment in the room and everything like that. Like that's just something that's very eerie to me because, nowadays there's a lot going on. The government pretty much controls a lot of things. The population, included, because they're always trying to control the population in certain areas and things of that nature. So a lot of things can be turned out to be staged. A lot of people are feeling that way now that these mass shootings that's happening and things that drive, and kill a big number of people, they feel that some are staged just to control the population or to make some type of statement or something like that. There's always a backstory. And I'm always looking for them because it's not right. Like, why are innocent people suffering because of what, secret behind the scene organizations are just, something that's unknown to the public eye is occurring or whatever. Like, especially when the gun law was put out, allowing a lot of different guns to enter the public. That's when I knew a lot of things were going to transpire. Because with me, I think the public, they should only be allowed to have pistols. Like all the type of pistols should be available, for purchase for the public and everything else. But any type of rifles or shotguns or anything of that nature shouldn't really be available to the public. Like, I understand you want to protect yourself. We in those times where, people want to feel safe, and, owning a firearm is the way to go now. My thing is, us civilians do not need no semi-automatic or high-powered, guns just to protect ourselves. That's just me. I mean, it's probably a lot of other people agree, which I hope, because it's too much going on. A lot of the high-powered guns are beginning to be put into the wrong people's hands, and that's what's starting all these mass shootings and things. They just put a ban on the modifications for certain weapons so you can't make them into a semi-automatic weapon. My thing is, why were they available in the first place? I mean, maybe the Vegas shooting could have been prevented given that these certain modification packages, weren't available. Just like with the shooting that just happened this past Sunday in a town not far from San Antonio, Texas, at a church. Now, the whole details of how he acquired the gun and all that haven't really been discussed, but it was a semi-automatic weapon that he did use. Don't know if it was modified or if it was already made as a semi-automatic weapon. Like I said before, these high-powered weapons are being put into the wrong people's hands. But enough about that. Next topic I want to discuss is the Manhattan incident. Ever since the whole barcade incident that happened in London, there's been a lot of copycats since. With any major big crime like that, there's going to be copycats. It always have, always will be. My thing is, why aren't certain walk paths that are just made for pedestrian walking only, why aren't they blocked off or barricaded so cars cannot enter them? Like, okay, it's only made for people to walk on or ride bikes, but how come a car can still go through there if the driver chooses? A lot of these type of crimes are starting to happen. It will help prevent a lot of them because the walking paths and the walking and bike route paths are barricaded from cars. I mean, yeah, sure, we didn't think nothing of it, when they was first constructed. I mean, because it wasn't a problem. You wouldn't have to worry about someone, coming through at high speeds, running people over at will. But now we do. So now it's time to make the necessary precautions to keep people safe. Another thing I don't like is with major crimes such as that, or like mass shootings in general, why the media or just people in general always want to label someone as a terrorist. That doesn't make them a terrorist because they carry out a terrorist type of plan. And don't get me wrong, some of them actually do be terrorists in disguise, don't get me wrong. But don't try to put that label on every type of person, especially the Muslims, because of, what's happened in the past. Majority of their kind of people normally have been the ones to carry out these type of plans and things. But that doesn't make all of them bad, so all the good ones should not have to suffer for the bad apples that are present. That's how I feel about it. That's why I was displeased with the whole travel ban that Trump was trying to put together, banning that certain race, from entering the country and whatnot. Like, okay, that's cool. I understand you're trying to keep America safe and all, but that's not the way to do it. I mean, it kind of would have been effective, but still, innocent and good people suffered from that whole ordeal. Next topic I would like to discuss is hurricane relief. Why is it that certain areas get more help than others? Like, I don't want to make it about race, but, the way things are going, race always ends up, being a factor because everyone is not being treated equal. I mean, you say you ran out of money, when these other areas still are in need, but you helped all these other areas, but now you're out of money. I believe these organizations, FEMA included, aren't really helping everyone that's in need as they should. some of the money is being pocketed, not without a doubt. I mean, that's with any big organization. Like, that's the problem with the city of Dallas. That's why we can't get ahead as a city. If you look at it, Dallas really is supposed to be farther along than it is. But it's not, because the people that are in these higher positions are not doing their job correctly. You know, money is the root of all evil, indeed, and these certain people get around, or have access to these big sums of money, and they don't know how to act. They want to keep some for themselves, rather than distributing it like it's supposed to be done. That's why the whole problem with the Dallas County Schools bus system is in disarray, because of money not being used properly and things not being funded the way it should be. So that's why I commend the churches that actually took their donations directly to those areas that were in need. That was a great job, great effort, and everything, because these organizations have been getting away with only helping the few areas they would like, so, and then be quick to say they're out of money when it comes to the other areas that are still in need. My whole thing about the whole cancer research and stuff, they're finding cures for a lot of the different cancers that are out there. But why is it that it's only available to certain people, or it's available in certain places, or, I mean, they're raising all this money all the time. Someone's always donating, and they're always raising money, for the cancer research and everything, to help research and help find cures to different cancers. Then why everybody not being helped if you have all this money? Why aren't a lot of more cures are being created? What's the holdup? That's my thing. All these big organizations that's claiming to do good are really doing evil right in our faces. Next topic I want to talk about is the Richardson incident. I'm glad the little girl was found. It's sad the way she was found. I wish he had been found, still alive, but it's just very unfortunate. And I knew from the jump that the father had something to do with it, because, I mean, look at what he said. Look what his alibi was. I mean, in my opinion, he could have come in with a better lie than that, right? And then you want to change it, and that kind of still wasn't the whole truth. And then you kind of gave yourself away when you said you was doing laundry at that certain time of the morning. And the fact that you didn't call until 3 hours later from the time you said you had her standing by a tree outside. So, I mean, my thing is, don't get these children if you're not going to properly take care of them. Or, I mean, if you don't actually want them no more, or whatever the case, there are ways to do things. There's always a right way to do something in this world. I mean, you can give them back. I mean, because she was adopted, you can give them back, or, whatever the case may be. But don't end their life, for your own personal gain, or maybe just no motive at all. Like, they didn't ask to be killed. Just like with the children that are born into dysfunctional families. They didn't ask to be born into that environment, but yet you brought them here. So now you gotta, become responsible for your actions. Next topic, I want to talk about is the FBI indictments on two people that was a part of Trump's campaign. It's good that they're finally cracking down on what transpired with the whole election. I mean, because we know it wasn't right. We know those votes was flipped. You're not going to tell me that Hillary had all that support and not win. And then the way Russia has all this access to our country like they do, I have no doubt in my mind that they had something to do with it. I mean, even if it was just a little something, they had something to do with the election. And I'm glad the FBI is finally cracking down and getting all the people that involved, with the whole ordeal. Hopefully they can get everyone, before Trump, finishes his 4 years. Because I know it takes a while with the whole case, building the cases and all that. I just hope they can get everyone in time, including Trump himself, so they can pay for their actions. Next topic I want to talk about is the NFL. NFL protests and Zeke's case. About the protest, I'm for it because there's a lot of injustice been going on, but it's really been coming to a head, ever since Trump got in office. Him winning the election has spewed a lot of hate and racism, fumigating it, or I should say adding fuel to the fire. What Colin Kaepernick did was great, I mean, he saw enough. Because back when he first initially kneeled, a lot of injustice and police brutality was going on. Still going on now. Probably not as much, or they try not to bring it into the news as much now. They're trying to keep it hush-hush, but it's still happening. And we're not going to stop and just sit here and think that, oh, it's okay. No, we want change. We want the correct type of change. And I commend all the teams and players that want to protest. I mean, it's not right how, okay, just because they're a part of this national and big organization, that their right to stand up for what's wrong is taken away. It shouldn't be like that. That's just like saying, okay, someone believes in a certain thing or whatever, but because they get this particular job, you're asking them not to continue to follow their beliefs. If an employer actually done that, that would be a problem. Because that's strictly a violation of one of the labor laws. So, sure, the NFL has this, has their different systems and things in place, but the players should still be allowed to believe in what they believe. Whether it's taking a knee, putting up a fist, or whatever. It's not about the flag. Never was. Trump can say and try to make everyone believe that, oh, they're disrespecting the flag. They're not. Because, okay, the flag stands justice for all. How is it justice for all if innocent African Americans or Israelites are being killed for nothing? How is it justice for all when people of color are not being treated fairly in the justice system or in everyday living? Until that flag actually stands for justice for all, we have to keep fighting and keep protesting. It goes back to how I said, the wrong people get in these higher positions and they get granted all this power so they can run things how they want to run it. And it's not right. That's why these protests are going to continue to happen until change is done. Okay, now about Zeke's case. Yes, he is a victim. He's a victim of being treated unfairly in the justice system, as many of us black men have been treated unfairly in the justice system. Okay, he wasn't charged for the domestic allegations against him. So why are you treating him like he was charged or he actually did do it? I mean, it's not right that you're disregarding the evidence and disregarding the word of his accuser. She couldn't get her facts straight or anything, and then there's no real evidence of any type of harm that he did to her. And then little do people know, she had came out and said it right when things first started, that, oh, you're not going to win because I'm white. She exactly said that. And a lot of people didn't even know that. Or they either overlooked it or turned a blind shoulder to it. Yeah, that was her own words. She actually told Zeke that when it all first transpired. Even when the private investigation was done, they found Zeke not guilty. So why is it that the NFL, because of some Article 46 in the collective bargaining agreement that I think that shouldn't even be in place in the first place, why is it Roger Goodell has the power to grant punishment even if a player is innocent? Oh, just because the allegations were put against him in the first place, he violated some type of policy that's in the NFL? Now, don't get me wrong. You know, being a part of the NFL is a big deal. You should act accordingly. But in Zeke's case, he's been done unfair. And a lot of people saying he should just, stop appealing and take the suspension. No, it's bigger than football, just like he said. It's not the fact that, oh, he wants to continue to play or, and avoid the suspension. It's the way that the punishment was issued. One of the people that were supposed to be a part of the initial hearing wasn't even there, or she wasn't even informed about the whole ordeal. And she said herself that he's being done unfair. So that's my take on it. I hope he wins the case, and I hope he either gets the suspension thrown out or reduced to at least just 2 games, because he's not a saint. I mean, he has had off the field issues and behavioral issues, and he should be punished for them. But to say he is an abuser anyway, regardless of the evidence and everything else, is wrong. Next topic I want to discuss is the rise of Cardi B. A lot of people like her, love her, whatever. A lot of people hate her and all that. With me, I don't have a problem with it. I commend her for her success, and I commend her for how real she is with the little video rants that she do. Especially the one when she exposed certain people in the industry. She's, stating that certain people that she looked up to are kind of throwing shade at her, or, really not vibing with her or cool with her like that now that she's a part of the industry. As long as she was a stripper and dancer or anything that's just below them, they were cool with her. But now that she's on the rise and actually a part of the industry, music industry, people want to just throw shade and hate on her, and that ain't right. Like, I'm trying to change the music game and everything, as it is already, because being it's not being transpired in a good direction. I mean, like, why hate on someone because they're on their come up? You should want to commend them and help them. You know, see, that's the problem with people in this world. They don't want to see others make it. Once they make it, they're like, oh, that's it. I don't want nobody else, getting on my level or anything like that. If everybody would work together and if everybody was, would act like we're a part of the same race, which is the inhuman race, then a lot of things can be, could happen. I mean, a lot of areas you know, would grow and progress and everybody would be happy. But no, you got certain individuals out here that want to keep certain people down. The minority, the minority want, wants to make it. They want to thrive just like the majority do. My thing is, it shouldn't even be no minority and majority. We should all just be one. No lower class, middle class, and all that. It should just be one class, which is the standard class. Everybody should be able to prosper. Everybody should have the right to do, things, good so they can live a nice life. Why is it that, okay, certain people are entitled to these things? I mean, a white child, being born, okay, they're only 1 year old or however many months old. They're already entitled to have a good life, whether their parents are a part of a high class or not. And it shouldn't be that way. When a child is born, no matter the color, they should be entitled to having a good life no matter what. Until that changes, there's going to be a lot of corruption, disruption, dysfunction, and anything else you can think of. And it ain't right at all. Last topic I want to touch on is side chick glory. Why is the role of being a side chick being glorified as much as it is today? I mean, nothing against, SZA's song. I mean, great song, it jams or whatever. But the message I don't agree with. Music influences people, it does. My thing is, people shouldn't think that things are okay. Oh, because it's been made into a song or it's on TV or anything like that. All the old TV sitcoms, the Cosby Show and Living Single and things of that, it was about family. It was about, doing right, getting married, being with one person, one companion. Nowadays, having two girls or having two guys or having both genders nowadays is okay. Like, it's not. That's not the right way of life. I mean, I know a lot of people have their opinion on it or whatever, and and some people are just accustomed to being like, oh, I can never be the one. You don't know that. You ain't never tried. You just became accustomed to being that side chick. You don't think you can become a wife to someone or anything like that. That should always be the goal, for its relationship is becoming a wife or becoming a husband. Just because, don't ever become satisfied with a current setting when you know you can reach way higher than that. That's what I don't get with people. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's unjust. Why would you want to share someone. Like, certain things shouldn't be shared. Like, you know how you shouldn't share your hairbrush, you shouldn't share your toothbrush, you shouldn't share, you know, your towels and things like that. So why would you want to share a person with someone? STDs is already on the rise as it is because of all the unprotected sex that happens. Let alone you want to share a person with someone? It doesn't make sense. Like, that's my thing. Why is side chicks being glorified? They should not be glorified. The term really shouldn't even exist. I mean, but it does, because way back in biblical terms, you know, they had multiple wives. Okay, you're married to all of them. That don't make it right. That still don't make it right. Oh, okay, just because you married all of them, well, they're not side chicks because they're all my wives. No, you're only supposed to marry one wife. I mean, supposed to have a family with one wife. Like, your child should only have a mother and a father, not a mother, a father, and another mother, or, you know. Now, that happens because, you know, it don't always work out with people, you know. Relationships do come to an end, and, you know, you move on to someone else, you know, but you happen to have kids from a previous relationship. I get all that. But as far as, you know, having multiple people as a companion, I don't agree with. This is Braylon Blair, and this has been Topic Drop Segment 3. Join in next time for Topic Drop Segment 4 whenever it gets uploaded.
Love it or hate it or love it. Send a serious wake up call to the public. Too many issues cause the government miscues. Got to wake up this nation. And pretty soon, but when the wrong person gets in office, we the people, it's who lose. Money is the root of all evil. Y'all have been missing the clues. Wherever there's success, it's the system to bring it down.